Hi guys, welcome to the new video of Linux tutorials. In this new video we're gonna learn the command called ls. So let me share you the agenda with you guys. So first thing we're gonna learn is the ls command and the options of this command. So and second thing is I'm gonna explain you types of files in Linux, I can say. And if we got the time, then we're gonna see what exactly we can do inside an OS. I know that is a bit and strange question, but we're gonna see this. Okay, let's start by this ls command. So I already told you every command is following some structure. So the structure I already told you. Let me remind. So this is the command we need to give. After command, there are options, and after the options, we need to give the argument. As we discussed in the cd command also. So there are multiple options, and there the argument is like folder. So in ls we can also give the folder, like to check files and folder inside particular folder. And now how to check the options, I already given you some context on this in the last video. So there is two flags, I can say, or two options, -h or -- help. Normally these are the two options or the flags in the Linux that we can use with any command to check their sub options. Like you can do cd-h or --help to check the options. You can do make dir -h or --help. So we're gonna see this today in with the command called ls. So let me show it to you. Yeah, so we are currently in this root directory, and inside root directory there are multiple files and folder. So that's what ls is showing. Now if you want to see some details of this particular files and folder that are inside this particular /root directory, then there is an option. Now how to check the option, I already told you. So -h or -help, probably these are the two options with every command. So if I now do enter ls -help, it will show me all the options. Now what the options is, it will show it to me. There are multiple options. See, there it's showing how to use this command. So then ls, then options, then file. We need to give a file or the current directory, it will automatically take. Now these are the options, like -a is one of the option, capital A is the option, -b is the option, capital B is another option, -d is the option, -f is the option. We're gonna discuss many from them. And -i is the option. So we're gonna discuss this multiple things. So if you want to sort using the words -size, if you want to like print of the size, what is the size of that particular file we're gonna use. So this all we're gonna use. Now let's see the example one by one. So first is ls-l. See, it is showing the details in the long format or in the more detailed form, and I want to focus you guys on this particular first block. So somewhere it's hyphen, somewhere it's written d. So let me explain to you what are these. So there are totally 10 blocks. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then there is one dot. Okay, so this first block may be possibly -d and many other options. We're gonna discuss this in today's lecture only. First three blocks are like permission of user. Now what is the permission of user, we're gonna discuss in upcoming classes. These three are the permission of group, and remaining three are the permission of other users. So all this I will explain you in upcoming videos. And this last dot is like ACL. Now what is ACL, I gonna explain you in upcoming video, but as of now just focus on the first block. Maybe it's hyphen, maybe it's D or something. Now first option we use is ls hyphen l. It will long list the details of file. Now what details it's showing is, let me jump to the terminal. So in the last it's showing what is the file name or what is the folder name, how much the size of file is. Now this particular block is the who is the user owner of this file, who is the group owner of this file, when this file is created. It's showing the timestamp here also, and it's showing the date also. Multiple things are there. And now if I take the another option, so if we check, there are some files that is showing in the current directory. But what if there is some like secret file I can save? So Linux will not show the files that are uh, starting with a dot. So what does it means? So let's say I created one file in the current directory like Shri, but starting with the dot. So if I created this file or like dot with any name, Linux by default will not show. If you want to check these files also, hidden files also, these are called like whatever the files start with dot, those are called hidden files. If you want to see those files also, so there is another option in the list, that is hyphen a, that will show the hidden files. Now if I do here the ls hyphen a, see, it's showing some hyphen dot debug. It's showing me some dot mozilla dot ts hrc files are there, or dot cache directory is there, dot config directory. So multiple things are there. But yeah, now with the hyphen a option, it's showing me hidden file or hidden directories also, that starting with the dot. Now what if see, we are currently in the root directory, and if we do the ls, it will take the path automatically the current directory. So the content of above command and this command is same. Now what if I want to show the output of two directories? Now what I mean by this is, so there is one directory called slash boot, and we are currently in the slash root. I want to check the files in both the directory from slash root only. Now if we want to check the content of two directory, so there is an option called ls. Now what you can do is, you can give path 1 and path 2. Now path 1 is your slash root. If you don't give, it's fine, it will take automatically. Path 2 is slash boot. So now it will show the content of both the directory. Let me show it to you. ls slash root space slash boot. See, first it's showing the content of slash boot, it's written here on the top also, and then it's showing the content of slash root. So that is the one thing. Now the next option I gonna discuss with you is, so there may be case like uh, there is one directory that is slash root. Inside that directory there is maybe another folder or directory like linux 2 or linux, anything is there. So its possibility is there ki inside that particular any directory some files or another folder is also there, folder 1 or folder 2 is there. But if you do now ls in the current directory, so you can see that linux and linux 2 are there, but it's not showing the content of linux 2 or linux file if something is there. Now nothing is there, but if I create some directory inside linux 2 folder, let's say folder 1, and we can create multiple folders togetherly in mkdir, that we're gonna discuss when we are discussing the mkdir command. But now see, folder 1, folder 2, folder 3, 3 are there. Now if we go back, we are in the root directory, and if we do ls, it's not showing anything in the linux 2 directory, even though if I do ls-l, even though it's not showing now. So now what if you want to check the files and directory recursively inside one another folders? So then ls hyphen capital R is the option, and you need to enter. Yep. See, in the Linux 2, it's saying folder 1, folder 2, folder 3, 3 are there. And why it's showing dot slash Linux 2 colon? So let me tell you one thing. Why dot slash? So dot slash in Linux normally represents the current directory. Now how I can prove this? If I go to this and if I do ls, this is the output, and if I do ls dot slash, see, the output of both the things are exactly the same. So dot slash means the current directory, and when you are doing exactly ls, in the background it is doing dot slash only. And now let's say you want to see the content of particular folder, not the whole content of this slash root, but you want to check it recursively. So for recursively I am choosing hyphen capital R, then Linux 2 is the folder name in the current directory. That's why I'm giving the relative path here, because we don't need to give the absolute path, because Linux 2 is a folder that is present in the current directory or in the present directory. That's why we are only giving the name, and in that Linux 2 folder we want to check files and folder recursively. See, it's showing recursively. In Linux 2 it's saying folder 1, folder 2, Shri are there, but in Linux 2 folder 1 there is nothing, folder 2 there is nothing, and inside Shri there is nothing. But yeah, in Linux 2 folder there are 3 folders, but in separately in these 3 folders there are nothing. So that is the use of ls-r. Now there is one concept that I gonna discuss in some upcoming 2 or 3 videos, that is like the concept of inode. What is the inode exactly? I'm gonna discuss in the next video, but as of now in ls there is another option called ls-i, so that I represent inode table. Now inode table of file, you can give file or folder here. As just for the clarity or just for the understanding, now you can think of inode table is like an index page of your register, that gives all the, like index give all the information of register at what page, what are the things. Same like inode table will give the information of file. So if I will do ls-i, and if I give some file name, let's say I want to give the file name called Shri. Just a second, this is not the file name. Let's say initial setup. See, so some number it's giving in the initially. So what is that number? What exactly the meaning of that number? I'm gonna explain you when I'm discussing the inode table with you. Now I told you to focus on the first block of file. When we are doing ls-l, it's showing some blocks. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 dot. So these are like user permission, group permission, and other user permission, and these are special permission, we can say. And what about this block? So in Linux there are many type of files are there. So exactly what I mean is, first my question is like what exactly we can do in our operating system. So the answer to this question is like we can run applications, we can install applications, we can uninstall applications, we can run multiple program files, we can run scripts, multiple things are there. But exactly we can say the user have control to only files and folders in operating system. Now what does it means is, so user can only able to create either file or either folder. Without that user can't do anything. So that's are the different thing, like installing the files, installing the application, running the scripts. Those are like, I'm not going in that direction, but yeah, running the script, that script is again a file. Script is again a file. Installing an application. So if you install an application and if you go deeper down in the application management life cycles, so application is again a bunch of program files only. So what happened when you install the application? So as soon as you install the application, there are multiple program files, like say program file 1, program file 2, or let's say program file 3. So user bunch all of this program file and it is converted into application. So when you install, it is copied to some particular directory 1 inside OS. This is copy again like to directory 1. This copy is to again like say another directory 2. So yeah, this is all about application. And when you install the application, this all directory will be, or like I say, all these program files from this directory will be removed. So that is like uninstalling the application is removing. Uninstall the application is not but just equals to the removing files from OS. So that's the application basically. So what I'm saying is user have only either create file or folder. If you think of without these two things, user can't do anything. Like user can only able to create file or folder, or user can only able to delete file and folder, or user can able to access file or folder. No third thing is there that user can do in an operating system. If you have anything, just comment down. I am also eager to learn something new if there is some third thing. Now in Linux I'm talking about specifically in Linux, file are of multiple types, but in Linux folder is also considered as file. Now what does it means is there are multiple type of files. Let me explain you one by one. So the first file is like you can say the regular file. Second is you can say the directory file. Now this directory is the folder, but in Linux the directory is also considered as file. Third is you can say block file. Fourth you can is character file. Fifth is you can symbolic link file, and there are many, but I remember this 6 as of now. Socket file. Now how we can differentiate from all of this? So let me do something. Hyphen D, then block is B, character is C, symbolic is L, and socket is S. Now what are these characters I written here? So I told you when you do the ls-l, let me do it again quickly. You need to do ls-l. Okay, see, in the first block I told you to please concentrate. So see, here is hyphen, here is D, and if you see wherever the D is written, those are directories. That means you can't do CD. Let me do CD and let me copy this particular name from here, and in the front of this the name or the symbol is hyphen. So if I do CD, it will fail. Why it will fail? Because it's a file, it's not a directory. It's a regular file. See what error it's given is it's not a directory. Now in the same way, if I do CD to any of the folder or any of the directory in the front of which the D is written, now we can able to do the CD. Why? Because it's a directory. So let me explain you one by one what are those other file meanings. So regular file is like any file. Any file means like maybe text file, maybe your image file or PNG file, your Word file, or like any regular file that you can assume. Directory file means it's a directory only, or it's a folder only. But in Linux, directory or folder is known as directory file. Now, what is a block file? So block file means you can think of like your hard disk. Now, why I am saying this block file is hard disk? Because normally the storage is of three kind: file, block, object. And block storage is just equals to kind of hard disk only. And hard disk is a block device, so you can think of block device will be represented in Linux by B, and hard disk you can think of block device. The detail of all this I will explain you in some upcoming videos. Character file is represented by C, and you can think of like it's related to basically inode. When I discuss inode, I will tell it to you. Now, symbolic link files means, so in Linux there are mainly two kind of links I can say. And symbolic link means kind of soft link. Link, by the word you can think of like you come to know by word also, like link means linking two files, we can say. Now I have file called cd.txt. Here I have file called cat.txt. Now if I link these two files, that is called a symbolic link. I created a link between these two files, that is symbolic link. Now what is the use of symbolic link? So you can think as of now, if you change in this file, it automatically change in cat.txt. If you change in the cat.txt, it automatically change in the cd.txt. More detail I will explain you when we are discussing with the symbolic link. But yeah, symbolic link means linking files. Now what is a socket file? You can think of, I told you in some 2-3 videos back. So there are kernel objects or kernel modules are there, and when we are doing system calls, so those system calls files are socket files. Now where we can see all of this file, normally there is one directory I told you in the last video, /dev. So if you go to the /dev, in the /dev I told you we are maintaining the devices. If I do ls, there are so many files, but let me do ls-l to show you the first object. See, here you can see multiple type of files. Let me come from the beginning. See, first is the first character is C, so that is a character file. Now D means it's a directory. You can go inside this, you can do cd. Third is L is like symbolic link, even though from here you can see that some thing is linked with some another thing. Next you can see is B is a block device. You can see disk and like dm0, dm2, some things are written. What are those? I will explain you, but now the main motto of this is to explain you what is the first block means and how many types of files are there, and if the B is written on the first letter or the first block, what does it means? If the L is written on the first block, then what it means? So C, B, L is already there. If I show you some S option also, see, L is also, S is also there. So that is a socket file. Now yeah, so in the /dev you can see all of these things. See, many links are created, many block devices are there. Yeah, so in Linux these are the type of files, and normally in Linux the folder is also considered as file, that is a directory file. And if you want to check the first letter, like what type of file is this, you can use ls-l. There are 10 blocks totally. So these are like all related to permissions that I gonna explain you in some upcoming videos. And this is first the block you need to see to check what type of file is this. Either it's a regular file, it's a directory file, or it's a block file, or it's character file. What type of file is this? And you need to check the recursively files inside a folder. Then the option is ls-r that I already explained you. ls-a is to show the hidden files. Ls, if you want to check two directory contents or two directory files or folders, then you can use this path1, path2 options. And ls-i is to check inode details of that particular file. So this is all you can use with respect to ls. So thank you guys. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel, keep on hitting likes, And if you have any doubts regarding the topic, please comment. I am happy to help you. Thank you.